And call the meeting to order. I will call the July 13th, 2026 work session meeting of the city council to order at 1800 p.m. All council members are present. And we're gonna start with the Sheridan Housing Implementation Plan. Oh, no, we're not. We're gonna start with Andrea doing her thing. Sorry, Andrea, I almost forgot you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea. We're going to be practicing language justice and we're going to have simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish. Si estás viendo esta grabación en este momento en inglés, la grabación en español va a ser publicada en el canal de YouTube de la ciudad de Sheridan. And host, we can start interpretation now.
Okay, first up, Sheridan Housing Implementation Plans. Ari is over there. You're up, my friend.
Great, so thanks everyone. I'm just gonna pass it to Dr. Cog in just a second, but in front of you, you should have a copy of the presentation you're gonna receive from Matrix Design tonight, as well as that handout for the project website and survey. We encourage you to take the survey if you have not already. We're just really excited about this project and getting a lot of traction right now. So I'm gonna pass it to Matt with Dr. Cog. He helps kind of give you an overview of the funding source and his organization before we give it to the consultant.
Excellent. Thank you, Ari. Can everybody see and hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Perfect. So as Ari introduced, my name is Max Monk, and I'm a planner, part of the regional planning team at the Denver Regional Council of Governments, or Dr. Cog. We're of course here to talk about the Sheridan Housing Implementation Plan, or the SHIP. But first, we just wanted to provide some background in terms of how we got here, how this project was funded. So just quick background on Dr. Cog. Dr. Cog is a regional planning agency comprised of 59 local governments in the Denver metropolitan area, of which Sheridan is a member. And we exist to help governments plan together and instead of silos, right? So much of what local governments do crosses borders, right? Our lives cross borders. The example I always like to use is a bus line probably shouldn't end at a city border just because, right? People might need to go further than that border. Okay, sorry, just making sure no one had a question there. And yeah, so we exist to help local governments plan together instead of silos in accordance with a shared vision. So state and federal governments collect taxes, they program taxes to spend on transportation planning and infrastructure work. The state often receives that money and passes it to the regions, and our leadership, part of our board, they decide democratically how to spend that money. And that's how the Livable Centers program came to be, which this project is a part of. So the Livable Centers program is a small area planning program that fully funds planning work. So a lot of the smaller area planning work are smaller budget dollar amounts, right? $100,000 to $300,000 contract amounts. This work is important, but the burden to administer those contracts doesn't often go away, even though they're smaller dollar amounts. So our board said, hey, what if we created a program that lifted burden from local governments and had Dr. Cog lead this planning work and do the administration? So manage the contracting, pay the bills, and work in conjunction with local staff to do the planning work. So that's the program. It really aims to increase livability in connected multimodal centers, integrating land use, housing, and multimodal transportation strategies. Once the program was approved by our board and we were given funding, we put out a call for projects. So we said, hey, local governments, what projects do you want to do that align with this program? And we met as a panel that covered staff across different divisions at Dr. Cog, and this project was selected and funded. And Dr. Cog's staff sat down with Sheridan staff, wrote the scope of work to put out for a request for proposals for a consultant to do. And through that proposal process, we hired Matrix Design Group, who is joining us today. They've been really in the weeds doing the work for your project. And yeah, I think that's the brunt of everything that I had to introduce. I will have to step away shortly after this introduction, so I'll maybe ask if there are any high-level programmatic funding related questions. Otherwise, you guys are in good hands with Matrix staff to answer your project specific questions. And of course, Ari and Nathan both have access to my email if you have other DRCOG specific questions. So maybe I'll just pause there and open it up.
I don't have any luminous.
Nope.
Thank you, Max. If we have any
Excellent.
questions, we'll make Jay ask them next meeting.
Sounds great. I'll go ahead and turn it over then to Jen. I'm pretty sure you're the person I'm turning it to. So thank you again, and excited to see this project moving forward.
Thank you, Max. Good evening, everyone. We are excited to share a little bit about the Sheridan Housing Implementation Plan with you today. I will kick us off, lay a little bit of the groundwork for what it is we're doing, who we are, hand it off to my teammates to go through some of the more detailed information about the housing. And of course, if you have any questions, we are happy to answer. So my name is Jen Tudgoins. I'm the Director of Planning at Matrix Design Group. I have been in the planning and economic development worlds for about 20 years, working with public and private sectors. I think housing is really at the center of almost everything, whether you're looking at community development planning or economic development and workforce. It's really important to the vibrancy of the community, and we love getting to work on this type of project. So again, we're happy to be here. I'll pass it off to Nick and to Christian to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Jen. My name is Christian Heron. I am.
Actor. You learned it, I should say it.
Thank you. So yeah, on this project, I serve as a project manager and lead the quantitative work. I've been with Matrix for about 5 years, and I'm currently the research lead of our quantitative research and data science team at Matrix. With that, I'll turn it over to Nick.
I'm Nick Melfi. I've been with Matrix about 3 years in the planning team. I'm the deputy project manager for this, handling a lot of the administrative stuff, sweeping everything, all the training on tracks. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Our agenda today, we'll start with a project overview and timeline, just give you an idea of what it is we're seeking to accomplish. We'll share some of our key deliverables and preliminary findings. We're not at the end yet, but we're kind of giving you a little peek behind the curtain, provide an engagement overview, and then we do have closing Q&A, but of course, if you have questions along the way, we're happy to press pause and entertain us. A little bit.
The picture, that's my street.
Oh,
Were you involved in that project?
no, I am relatively new to Matrix, but I was not involved in that function. They'll tell our team they did a good job setting the photo. So our overview, our primary objective listed here at the top is to remove the barriers to diverse, affordable housing. We're doing that through a couple of different mechanisms. One would be looking at your zoning and land use and identifying ways that, that could potentially be modernized or changed for transit supportive infill. We'll also be looking at the market feasibility of our recommendations. Our job is not to give you a plan that looks like a really cute wish list that we can do anything with. Our job is to give you a plan that you can do something with. So we want to make sure we're grounded in reality. We will also be looking at ways to protect affordability and protect displacement. Affordable housing is not just new development. It is also maintaining the affordable housing that exists today. We're also looking at ways to improve multimodal access. That means people who are walking, people who are biking, people who are taking the bus or light rail. Like, how can we enhance connections throughout your community? Aligning strategies with the different legislative actions you see listed there. And then, of course, the most important thing as a recovering municipal planner is to produce actionable city-specific plans. You should be able to do something with this. And that is our goal, is to give you an excellent document that empowers you guys to move forward with the goals and actions that you guys have helped us co-create. With that, I will pass it to Nick, I believe.
Thanks, Jen. So I'll go through here each of the deliverables for this effort. And you can kind of think of it in 2 phases. The first half is understanding what is, and then the second half is going to be coming up with those recommendations and an actual plan to build those objectives. So Here you can see what we've worked on so far through June. And the first step was an existing conditions review, along with some preliminary recommendations. We reviewed existing plans, zoning documents, transportation plans, basically all the planning documents as they pertain to Sheridan, and just identified the goals and regulations you're operating within. The next step was the housing market study and economic feasibility analysis, which Christian's team did, where they looked at the data of housing availability, affordability, demographic changes, and the economic feasibility of different potential opportunities. And those drafts have been submitted as well. And then the last piece to understand Sheridan is the community engagement plan. So working with city staff, we came up with a list of who we need to talk to and how to garner public engagement, public input into the final plan. And that is ongoing as we speak. So we've sent out invitations for interviews with various stakeholders. We did the can-do presentation a few weeks ago. And we developed the survey, and we put information on the project website, on the city's website to help get the information out. But that part is ongoing and will continue throughout the rest of the project. And then if we go to the next slide, you can see basically the next phase, which is really from now through December. So some of that is progressing as we speak. So for the housing strategy, looking at actionable strategies based on needs assessment and market study for increasing housing quantity, diversity, and affordability, particularly around key transportation modes. We're looking at different strategies, ways to leverage state funding, different efforts related to ADUs, Proposition 123 up there. Basically looking at taking what we did so far, looking at all the possibilities, and then turning that into an actionable strategy for Sheridan. There's also a multimodal and transportation connectivity analysis piece, which specifically for Sheridan is looking at long-range transit access to the Oxford Light Rail Station and grade separated connection to Englewood Station. So that analysis is going to be part of our final report. But ultimately what we're going to deliver in December is a consolidation of all the steps I just mentioned, along with an actionable implementation strategy for getting at the objectives. And of course, we'll have multiple reviews throughout this with city staff to make sure ultimately what we deliver is useful to you and aligned with your goals. I think go to the next slide. I'll turn it over to Christian for just a little bit of what we said so far.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, so as Nick mentioned, we have essentially completed the existing conditions report for this project. I'm going to start by talking about some of the main challenges that we identified before moving on to the opportunities. So obviously the first one is the limited housing diversity and affordability, right? The housing stock is oriented towards single-family detached homes. And in terms of affordability, I think the one key finding is illustrated in this chart on the right-hand side. So the font's a little bit small, but what it's essentially showing is the home sale price that the median worker by occupation in Sheridan would be able to afford. And then that dotted line that's further to the right is the actual median home value. And what you'll see is that in every occupation in Sheridan, the median worker doesn't earn enough to afford the median home, and the gap is quite large, which suggests that, hey, households really need, they tend to need multiple income streams to buy at today's market. We also found that, there are some, barriers that are impacting the development of housing, whether it's from the zoning code or whatnot. And these tend to limit housing choice, and especially as it relates to mixed use development. One thing that we also found is that just the rising cost of building has been a huge problem. This is a challenge that has accelerated since the pandemic, right? And it's not gotten better over time. A major focus on this project is also looking at sort of the neighborhoods that are at risk of redevelopment, or where residents are at risk of displacement, right, being priced out of their current homes. You know, and what we found is that this is a pressure that tends to be concentrated in parts of the city where there tends to be more affordable housing. And last, connectivity, walkability, and transit access, those are still quite limited throughout the city.
Got a question about this graph here.
Yep.
So is this all Sheridan, numbers?
Yeah, so these numbers are specific to Sheridan. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, next slide. Now, going to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that we looked at. Based on our review of the zoning and the development code, you know, we think there is an opportunity for some changes that could really bring about a wider range of housing types throughout Sheridan. We also, you know, point to the importance of supporting the production of affordable housing, as well as the preservation of the affordable housing that the city currently has, right? Next, you know, there really is an opportunity to encourage the development of new housing in areas that are sort of, you know, near transit and near key corridors. We looked at ways to improve multimodal connections between neighborhoods, transits, and destinations. And finally, what's really key to the development of affordable housing is partnerships, right? Because in order for it to be profitable to build housing and then rent or sell it to lower income levels, what's often needed is the stacking of multiple funding sources, right? Next slide. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about the housing market study. This report isn't as far along as the previous one. It's still mainly in draft form. But as demonstrated, you know, by the graph showed 2 slides previously, home ownership is increasingly unattainable for Sheridan households, right? Home prices are much higher than what is affordable at median income levels. One thing we also found, though, is that rental housing is generally more affordable than neighboring areas. The median rental unit is around $1,600 or so, but it's important to compare that to income levels and what people can afford, right? So to afford a rent at that level, a household needs to earn around $60,000 per year, but the median Sheridan renter household earns about $50,000 or so. You know, next, we found that much of the affordable housing stock in Sheridan is what's called NOAH housing. Housing that is affordable in the absence of subsidy. But what's sort of risky about that is, you know, there's a higher chance that rents will rise, you know, in the future, which could potentially displace current residents who are at lower income levels. Next, one thing that we identified in the report, and this is a statewide and national trend, is that what we're seeing is a real decline in the size of households, right? Due to a number of factors like falling birth rates, right? And what we are seeing is, the current composition of the housing stock does not necessarily align with this changing demographic trend that we are seeing. There's certainly going to be a greater level of demand, in the future for smaller units. Many people who sort of work in Sheridan can't afford to live here, right? And this creates a number of ripple effects. But sort of one of the goals is to align, the jobs and housing, right? To make sure that workers, if they choose to, have the ability to sort of live in the community that they work in. Finally, we created a couple of indices, sort of at the neighborhood level, that sort of track, based on demographic factors. What is the likelihood that residents in this area will be at risk of displacement now and into the future? We also looked at the related question of, hey, how at risk is this property of being redeveloped in the future? So there are a couple of those maps in the report. I don't think they're in this slideshow, but that's something that is definitely a note going forward.
Thanks, Christian. And the last thing we want to discuss before we open it up to any questions is community engagement section. So as I mentioned before, we had the can do presentation earlier in June. We're continuing to engage with them and get their input throughout. We're also conducting stakeholder interviews, virtual interviews with local organizations, housing authorities, businesses, anybody who would have knowledge or input into addressing this effort. That being said, we'd also love to hear if there's anybody that in particular you want us to talk to. And then engaging the public. So we have 3 pop-ups. The first one was June 12th that moved in the park. The third one we know is going to be in September at Sheridan Celebrates. We haven't locked down the date for the middle one yet, but all this is an effort to get the word out that this study is ongoing and garner public engagement. The second piece along with that is the project website on the city's website, where we have a flyer with the QR code to the survey that people can fill out, ID Places tool where people can it's a map-based tool where people can leave comments associated with specific areas in the city. And then the last piece of these presentations, the City Council and Planning Commission. So we definitely want to gather public input throughout this process to make sure we're building something that's gonna be relevant and actionable for Sheridan.
Did you guys create this questionnaire?
We did.
You should probably introduce yourself. You're getting back.
I'm Mayor Pro Tem Michael Moreno.
Sorry.
So I had an opportunity to do this questionnaire, and there was a question that said something to the effect of if you work and live in Sheridan, is your commute more or less than 30 minutes? Do you know anything about Sheridan? You can go throughout the whole entire town and yeah, less than 30 minutes. So
Yes, sir. I think that one, we're trying to understand if people who live in Sheridan, if they commute outside of Sheridan, a
I
significant.
thought it said inside Sheridan, if you live and work in Sheridan. I believe it's,
Okay, I'll double check that.
at least I think that's what I read.
Okay.
Councilmember Moreno, so I looked at it this afternoon. I think it said if you work at Sheridan, just if you work here, how long is your commute?
Okay,
So we know people, work as far as Fort Collins and down to Pueblo and all throughout Denver. So when I reread it again, I'm pretty sure that's what.
okay. So
So
my apologies.
Jay Whitaker, Ward 2. How many people have taken this survey? Mike, you and I have, right? We've
I have.
taken it. Is anybody else? Okay. I thought it was good. I was glad to see that it's happening. I'm on the board of directors for Dr. Cog. And, you know, I really think there's gotta be a way to accommodate all the different people who live in Sheridan. But as a, you know, as a homeowner, I want my house to be worth as much as possible. You know? And so I hope that's also part of this, is that the people that invest in this have, you know, equity to grow, not limiting it, you know?
And then it looked like we, after the Lopez there, Ward 1. It seemed like, we had to have 380,000 to own a house in Sheridan, right? And then you said that, well, 1,600, you know, in order to pay that 1,600, you know, I'm switching over to rent now, but you would need to make 50,000, but you would need to make quite a bit, you know, it'd be interesting to see on paper what they say you need to make for that 380, but we're talking about, you know, affordable housing. To me, it all seems unaffordable. If, you know, if nobody can afford it, then we're like, just like, it almost seems like we're trying to slap that label on the majority of the houses out there because we magically said they were all worth way more. I don't know, just struck by that. It seems like everything's unaffordable, but.
That was, yeah, do you know off the top of your head, I don't remember the amount to buy the $380,000 home, but I know that was the median one, so there are.
Yeah,
There are maybe some.
it would be. In the $120,000 to $130,000 income range, which is much higher than what the median household in Sheridan earns. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have a quick question, I'm Sally Daigle, Mayor. So when you're doing the pop-ups and what have you, and getting this out so people can do the survey and what have you, are any of them going out to like the trailer parks where the elderly live, or even in my neighborhood where elderly lives? Because that's a totally different story altogether, because they may not completely own their house yet. And if they're, you know, getting social security, they're old like some of us, then that's a different story altogether. So that's question one. And then my next question is, did you get the opportunity to speak to the school district? Because they're the largest employer in the city. And that's one of the biggest complaints that teachers have across the state of Colorado. They cannot live where they teach. Unless they, you know, all want to teach in Bennett and live in Bennett, you know. So that would be a great place to make sure that they can take the survey and they can get this information, because
Yes, ma'am. We shared it with Can Do, but I'll follow up specifically to make sure it's getting to the people you mentioned, work with Art as well. Yeah, you might have already, don't worry. I know he's been getting the word now.
anyone else?
Are you already working with our housing authority? So they pitched us on a few programs. It looked great. And then, you know, because of the cost of construction, probably right after COVID, they kind of gave up. You know, and so those lots are still sitting there.
Follow up on that specifically as well. I know they're one of the stakeholders.
So they just went through director changes, right? Do you have their contact info? If you could, or could you produce it to give to them?
Their new director,
Provided their contact
Yeah,
information.
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
and their new director doesn't start until July 20th.
Okay.
He'll be at our next meeting though.
They chose the heat.
Christopher Vogel will be there.
Anything else, anyone?
I think staff would just ask that if council can share this with their neighbors, help us get the word out. I attended Movies in the Park on Friday. I went up to every participant that was over the age of 18 and probably some that weren't even, just asked, will you take the survey? We actually incentivized people to take the survey by offering a raffle prize. Somebody was really fortunate and got a $25 gift card. Today, we sent that out in the mail. So, staff is pushing really hard because housing is a really important issue for the region, for our community. And, the thing about housing is that when you develop new housing, change occurs and that can be uncomfortable for people. So we're trying to get as many voices into this plan as possible. So we'd encourage all council members to take part in this and then also encourage their neighbors. We have flyers. We have as many flyers as you want. If you want to pick them up, we will print as many as you'd like. And it's all in English.
Is there a deadline?
We have not finalized a deadline, but sooner the better, so the matrix can kind of continue on gathering all the feedback and making our final report, so.
Because, the reason I asked is because Sheridan Celebrates is gonna be taking out, which is one of my asks for this evening, for each city council person to volunteer to take so many out into their neighborhood, flyers about the Sheridan Celebrates. They could do two at a time instead of just one, but Sheridan, that's, when are they gonna do that? It's probably the end of August. No. Because Sheridan Celebrates happens the last Saturday in September. So probably, last of August, 1st of September will be when we'll go out. Is that too late?
No.
That's fine, yeah, meet the contract, we can find. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We also have National Night Out. It's the first Tuesday of August.
That's right.
And I'm sure we can meet coordinator with Val to get a table there as well.
And then also the school district has the barbecue, the back to school barbecue at the Sheridan High School. A lot of people show up to that, and that's usually the second, right? It's usually really close to the Sheridan Night Out. So it's probably about the second week of school, third week of school. That would be another opportunity, and you could maybe even, get with the school district and put up a tent and do your own surveys. It's about.
Yeah, thank you. We'll definitely look at those two options.
I can send you Val's information if you like.
The gem of Sheridan is we're not that big.
We should definitely all take this survey because it starts here with you guys here presenting to us and us passing it on and knowing what we're talking about, seeing that survey and all the questions that are in it. It's really helpful. And we should put the survey in all of the newsletters.
Yes.
Like everyone, this same flyer. See if we can get the numbers up of the constituents taking this survey, letting us know what they want.
Yeah, pretty great.
Is there anything else you need from us?
Oh man, appreciate your time. Jen, do you have any?
No, I think we're good. We will be back and we appreciate your questions and your input. It helps us shape the process as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Yes.
Andrea, did you have a question?
No, just with her, she's talking.
Okay, sorry. Next, we will have a discussion on sales taxes. But there's a. Right today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice seeing it.
All right, got one, got one.
Anybody else needs one? They're here in the middle. But we're talking, so we won't have our video. Unless you pin it on that side. If you want the video. Okay. All right. Sales tax. So back to the retreat, we talked about bringing forward a sales tax initiative to be on the ballot this year. Talked about kind of what problem we're trying to solve with it, what are we looking at? I've worked on putting together some information for you, so this is an informational sheet. It is currently a draft sheet, so I'm looking for feedback. And then we are not making any decisions on this tonight, but if I can have feedback from you by the 24th, so July 24th. And then I will bring back a final copy that will be in English and in Spanish. This will be for you to use as an informational tool. If it's approved to go on the ballot, for you to have talking points and carry the torch forward through the campaigning. So biggest thing we wanted to highlight is that it's been 37 years since we have passed a sales tax increase. So last one was implemented in January 1st of 1990. It was voted on in 1989. So on this form, or information sheet, I want to make sure that you guys knew that. What we're trying to use the sales tax for is public safety. So over the years, as we know with everything, costs have increased. There has been a steady increase in cost for the infrastructure maintenance, public safety, equipment, daily operations, all the gear the police department uses, our fire department uses, and our revenues are just not keeping up with that. So the city is proposing a 5% sales tax increase. And then this sheet talks about all the things that we would do with that revenue coming in. So improve police and fire response, recruitment and retention of qualified officers. I know the chief talks about this all the time of how hard it is to get good people in the door, how hard it is to retain people. Then we want to continue to have a competitive edge. I know that we really focus on prioritizing and attracting good qualified officers. And we want to continue that. We want to make sure that our officers are trained correctly, that they have all the knowledge that they need, they have the equipment and resources, because in an emergency, seconds matter. And we need to make sure that we have the best people out there. For this one, the benefit of having it be sales tax is that it's shared across the board. So it's not all on the people of Sheridan. It's people coming in here, purchasing stuff from our different retail places. And so all of that is on here. So the first kind of section talks about what the revenue would be used for. We also have the why this approach, so sharing the cost, supporting public safety without increasing home cost, and then maintaining that competitive edge. So going up to 5.5% still keeps us competitive with our local neighbors. And I know you guys have seen the chart early on of like where we kind of fell with that 5% increase. And then just kind of getting that information out. What are we asking for the voters of Sheridan? So what I need from you guys is kind of just giving me input. If there's something that you were hoping to see on this informational sheet, if you think it's too much on the informational sheet, that you think maybe something could come off of it. If there's something else you'd like us to kind of highlight, that would help get this to move forward and pass.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Under improved community safety. I don't know that folks would be too happy about having more police officers, but they would be very happy about having better training. Not that we don't need more officers, because we do.
More training, yeah. It's a
But
good idea.
I mean, and just the.
So
Feel-
wording could be added,
Yeah.
that just says more training for police officers.
We do
Yeah.
need more officers, but she's right.
As opposed to more, because people are gonna say, oh, well. What do you mean we need more officers?
We do.
Yeah,
I mean, I hear people.
We do.
Their priority is not gonna be.
that's not gonna be the prior, some people kind of have a negative connotation to more officers. And if you just take more officers off the table and add better training officers, you don't have to have that argument at the doorstep when you're handing them a flyer. That's I'm thinking way ahead. Because we're gonna have to get out there and.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. You guys are gonna
right?
carry the torch, yes.
And that's what I'm thinking. I don't necessarily wanna have any arguments that I don't have to, but that I could see an argument. The rest, it's pretty good.
Piggybacking on that, it kind of is redundant right here, because it says more police officers, but then increased patrol presence. I mean, you kind of assume if you've got more officers, you're gonna have increased patrol.
And I think it's the increased patrol
That's
that's
what-
what I've heard people
Yes.
say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't realize that you might need another police officer to do that, so.
Yeah, I like the wireless approach and everything. I mean, those are all three really great points.
I think
Yeah.
what hit home with me was when you said, you know, you focused on the 5% shortage, you know what I mean? Like saying, yeah, there's an actual, you know, number of. You know, whatever you call that, police and fire and everything else, and then actual shortage of that.
And I think Devin has really emphasized this year that we're flat, we need our revenues to increase, we haven't raised, the tax rate in 37 years, I think that's the point that people are really gonna see, like, wow, we haven't done anything. And we've got a new development over here that has never increased, so, with River Point, so.
And then maybe. If it with a 5% sales increase. Maybe adding what that total would be,
Adding, sorry,
what the total after we, if it were to pass, then your total sales.
so adding
would
some
be-
more numbers.
Yeah.
Okay,
It makes it like 8 quarter or something, doesn't it?
oh, you wanna see total with county and all of that?
Yeah,
Okay,
What it's gonna cost me at the grocery store.
Yeah,
or-
transparency.
Yeah,
Just examples.
Mhm.
Yeah.
no examples is even better. Make it as simple as possible. It's gonna cost you, this much in taxes when you go to Chili's.
let's get into the wording of that'll be on the actual ballots.
so that'll be coming forward, I believe the next council meeting will look at like what is the ordinance and what is the wording that will actually go on the ballot. And then we'll have second reading coming in August, so we'll be seeing that really soon. So,
Good,
yes,
I'm sure it's a science.
yes, working on it. Chief, did you have anything that you wanted to add about? Like police department and focus on anything that?
No, you covered most of it, but it's absolutely crucial that we can pay our officers with the other places around this. I mean, we don't always have to be the top, and we're not. But we have to be competitive or else we'll revert back to just getting whatever we can get, and that's just extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
For the society, so, yes, it would be nice to get another police officer or two. I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but it would be nice to do that. It's not very close.
So here, just out of curiosity, say we were to raise it, when would it go in effect? And then when would that trickle down actually hit his pocket?
So the trickle down question, I think would be more of a Devin question.
Right.
But the implementation would be, or it would go into effect January
January
1
1.
of 2027.
And so then the police department probably.
So the
won't
first we would
do-
see it, Mayor,
Oh, there you go.
sorry, the
Yeah.
first we
Like, I
would
know
see
there's
it,
an
so if you
extra
need it effective January 1st. The first returns that would have that would be due February 20th. So we would see on those February returns, compared January to January. So, and if you're only asking 0.5%, maybe somewhere in there, you could also put, that's 50 cents on $100, that's not, that's always kind of sometimes nice. I feel like in other instances, I know that you talked about putting the whole rate on there.
Is that bad idea?
Sometimes your voters better than I do, but I think sometimes when I don't know, it maybe just some thought into it to maybe just show how much, if you want to put the full percent, make sure to state, hey, ours is only this amount, or so, yes.
Okay. Something to think about.
Cause the city tax would be going from 3.5% to 4%.
So,
Cause we're 3.5 right now. Yeah. We'd go to 4%.
It's an increase of 0.5%.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd be interested in the staff recommendation. How to word that.
I'll definitely take it back and look and see what kind of other examples and work with Devin on it and take all your feedback.
Is
down.
0.5% enough? Like, I
Yeah.
remember Devin saying we need to ask, you know, for as much as possible, and then if it's passed, and then you come back with a slightly lower amount, but.
It's hard to come back. If it fails, it's hard to come back and do it again
Yeah.
at any rate.
People think they paid an increase a year ago when they were already that with that.
Yep.
Yep. So they think, oh, they're asking for another one, and it's actually, you never got one.
Yep.
I can always talk with Devin about that too. And see if there was anything, yeah, let them know. Any other questions? If you take it home, have other feedback, feel free to email me, and just make sure I have it by July 24th.
Roads, we didn't mention roads really, or specifically, right?
No, so this one is gonna be, for public safety.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the thing to keep in mind is it is the general fund that is taking care of public safety. So if we have, it's a little bit of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if we don't have to use as much general fund money, you know, if there's extra money in the general fund to pay for public safety, then we have more money than to transfer to capital fund to cover the streets, you know, and to keep our maintenance up there, you know. In talking about that, if we talk, which I'm glad you brought it up, is, you know, 0.5% is going to be roughly 750,000. And I say roughly, you know, we are going to be short a lot more. I'm not sure if Jeremiah is there, but it's going to be over 1 million, 1.5 million that we're short, you know, on our streets to keep up with those. So it is a very good question. But yes, if we have extra money in the general fund, we're able to transfer it to capital to help pay those. So I'm not sure if that answered the question.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions?
The good start, I like it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I guess, so tonight we're also voting on marijuana tax.
Yes.
So how, you know, how do those two work together?
Together, yes. So I do have an overview from marijuana tax, so we can go right into that. So for tonight's agenda, we do have 2 items. We have the marijuana taxes on first reading. So that one is proposing that the city increase the retail marijuana sales tax from 5% to 8%. And their retail marijuana excise tax on unprocessed retail marijuana from 5% to 8%. So as you can remember, the voters of Sheridan voted on this for in 2017. It was ballot issue 2A. And that allowed you guys to have the room to increase it up to 10% without it going back to a vote of the voters. So we could do that. But this one, talking with Teresa earlier today, rough estimate would be about 80,000 a percentage. So by going up 3%, it's 240,000 a year roughly. So with both, it's just about 1 million. Right, Teresa? It's calculating that with my.
You did great.
Thanks. And then this one is adopted. It would go into effect October 1st of 2026.
And that's just to give everybody time to,
Yes.
you know, be aware and get your books ready and increase.
And we have, we have
There's that
4
thing.
retail stores that this would affect, so we would be in communication with all of those owners and letting them know. That by October 1st, they have to have everything compliant. And so the first reporting date on those would be November 20th would be the first time we'd see the revenue increase for marijuana.
And tonight's just first reading,
Yes.
correct? Yes,
First reading tonight.
on the marijuana increase.
Where's the stand with how other cities are marijuana tax?
So Littleton just went to I believe, and then Inglewood is 6%.
Right.
I don't recall what Denver was, but we had that chart, I don't remember that had all of the cities
Yeah.
nearby us listed. But the highest at that point was Denver is higher and then Littleton was higher, and so we would go even with Littleton.
What is it compared to liquor?
Oh, gosh, I can Google and see. I think liquor just had the regular sales tax. There's not any.
Liquor is just this 3.5%.
There's not a special excise.
Yeah, the 3.5% sales tax and whatever licensing fees they pay,
Yes.
which are significantly smaller than marijuana licensing.
I like going even with Denver, because we're not comparing apples to apples, because like Inglewood has way more stores, you know, so we have way less stores. But I like going even with them, yeah.
And I think if this realize like when people have their store and their place that they like to go, even if there's an increase, they're still gonna go there. Like you have the product you like, you go and you get what you want. Yeah, so I think we will keep that, and I think should, wouldn't have any issues with those things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. Any other questions about the marijuana? So yes, it hasn't been increased since we first implemented it, so this would be the first increase.
Gosh, what a smart bunch of folks they were.
Yes, so give you that buffer, yes,
Buffer.
that is nice, yes. The other ordinance that you have tonight is on second reading, so that is the ADU code adjustment or amendment. Andrew did go in depth about that last week. If you have additional questions, I'm sure Andrew's happy to answer those. But there was a staff memo in there along with the letter of approval from DOLA. So, any questions for Andrew on the ADU ordinance? Those are all the agenda items that we have for you this evening. I did send out a email with a poll survey on it. We are looking at setting up our goal setting session in August. So we are looking currently at August 3rd or August 17th. If you haven't completed the poll, if you could go in there and select which date is going to work best for you, and then I will work on getting that all scheduled. That is all I have. I don't know if we've got a few minutes, to transition upstairs.
We do, oh, no, unless there's any questions on the goal setting. I mean, my idea of goal setting is, what did you tell your constituents why you were running? What you'd like to see happen in the next coming years. And can we fit that into a strategic plan kind of thing? Actually, I have strategic plans from way back. And we'll just bring those right along with them, so. Go digging in your file cabinets, see if you can find some old ones. Cause it would be really interesting, I think, to see what we've actually accomplished and what's kind of still being rolled over.
Most definitely, yeah, it'll be about a 2-hour session. We're looking at from like 6 to 8 on the 3rd or the 17th, so just let me know your availability, and then we'll have dinner and we'll be upstairs so that we can kind of do that big square table and have department heads here and so.
Sounds good.
Any other questions?
Anybody? Anybody gonna talk to me? Let us know what happened. I have a gift for you. Because you didn't make it to cinema and I see that's nice. Yeah,
Tell your dream.
we can. You heard her? All right. We'll see you upstairs all.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and call this last report on 26th regular meeting with city council people at this time. 7:08. All council members are present. And will you please stand with us and join us for the invocation followed by the president.
Creator and sustainer of all that is or ever will be, accept our thanks for this day and all its blessings. We ask that you guide and direct us and our actions. Grant that each of us feel our responsibility to our community, to our country, indeed all countries and peoples. Bless our fellowship today in your service. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next we have the agenda approval. City clerk, were there any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda, Madam Mayor.
Next, we have the financial reports. Are there any questions on the financial reports? I have a motion by Mayor Mayor, second by Councilor Disability. That passes 7-0. Next.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
is your microphone on? Miss Andrea cannot hear you very well.
Now it's on. Oh, we didn't ask Andrea to do her thing.
You're okay, because they can't change it anyway. She's on YouTube.
Oh,
Yep, so you're good.
next we have the staff reports. We can start with city clerk.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. We talked about goal setting earlier, so just remember to fill out the survey poll on that. And I just wanted to congratulate Reagan. He has officially earned his CMC. Oh,
You stole my thunder.
sorry.
That's right in here.
So Reagan has been working on his CMC since July of 2024. What goes into a CMC is 60 educational points, which amounts to 120 hours of education in the classroom and 50 experience points. So big deal. And yeah, very excited for Reagan to have his CMC. So he is officially a certified municipal clerk.
Yay. Does that mean that you're gonna run off and leave us?
He better not.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And that is all I have for you this evening, but happy to answer any questions.
Thanks. City attorney?
Hi, yes, it was lovely to see everybody who was able to attend at CML. I found, at least on the attorney side, we're a little more limited in discretion of what we attend because we get continuing legal education credits. But this and the one last year were two of the most informative ones. I thought they were great on our end. So that was lovely, and it was lovely to see you all at the council appreciation dinner. That was a good time as well, and just excited to keep moving forward with everything. Brandon Dittman will be here next meeting because he'll be introducing one of the ordinances that he drafted, and it's more of a technical one than a general one, so he's the best person to be here for that. So he will be there next meeting on the 27th, I believe. So thank you.
And we won't have a city manager this evening. He was in New York this morning and let me know that he probably won't make it because of a flight. So he should be maybe landing at DIA sometime soon. I hope so. But we have Jenna if we have any questions. And then we have the police chief.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you to everyone that was able to attend the car show this weekend. It was another successful turnout. We had well over 300 cars again, and the money that we raised this year will go to commune, which is just right outside of Sheridan, but serves a lot of our Sheridan citizens. So it's right there at Loretta Heights, and they're nonprofits. So that's where money's going to go. And special thanks to Councilman Camacho. He always bids on something and spends quite a bit of money. This year he got himself a nice Santana edition guitar, which was really good. And just thank you all for being there. And Councilman Camacho, thank you for always participating. I know you spend a lot more sometimes than what it's actually worth, but it's going to a good cause, and thank you. So this time it was a good one, but it is it's just wonderful to work for a city where you have so much of your city council and the mayor show up and be at those events. It means a lot. So thank you all, from the car show, from the car club, and from myself and the Sheridan Police Department. Thank you so much for being so intimately involved. Thank you.
Sure. Next, we have approval of the minutes of the regular city council meeting of June 22nd, 2026. Are there any questions on the minutes? We have a motion from Councilwoman Stang and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno. You can go ahead and cast our votes. There we go. That passes a majority of 7. Next, we have the consent agenda, authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from June 16th, 2026 and June 30th, 2026 in the amount of $839,512.81 per the referenced and attached transfer of funds. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno and a second from Councilmember Camacho. We can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes as well, majority. Next, we have items for individual consideration. We have ordinance 9-2026 on second reading. Are there any questions? Any comments from anyone? No staff comments? We're good then. We have a motion from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno. We can go ahead and cast our votes. Passes with a majority. Gosh, it's so good that we get to hear about all of these things prior to in the first reading. That's very helpful. Next, we have ordinance 10-2026 on first reading, an ordinance of the City Council of Sheridan, Colorado, increasing the tax on retail marijuana sales and products and unprocessed retail marijuana in the city of Sheridan, Colorado from 5% to 8%. And do we have any staff comments? Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion from Councilmember Whitaker and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Moreno. That's a lot of M's. So we can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes with a majority of 7. Wow, that was faced. Dang, we could be out of here faced. Next we have Mayor's Choice, and I have I was going to congratulate you as well. Stole my thunder because that's quite an achievement, and thank you very much for doing that. Good for you. And then also, but we don't have the VFW. It's not here. We have the state commander in our midst. Todd Van Zandt was voted for and is now the Colorado State Commander for the VFW. I had the honor of going, and so did the chief. And oh my gosh, it was a really moving and, we were both well received. I did do a speech and so did the chief and, we both ended up having lots of veterans coming and speaking with us and, you know, talking with us and thanking us for being there and giving our, speeches and what have you. It was really kind of nice. It was really beautiful. And then, and that was Friday morning, and then Saturday they had a big meeting, and then Sunday he was crowned the Grand Poobah. Which, darn, that would have been so much fun if he'd been here.
The mayor's speech was much better than mine, so you should try to get a hold of that. It was really good.
Thanks. I just talked about the truth about family. So, yeah, it was really neat. So, and then the only other thing that I'd really like to hear from each of you, what you thought of CML. So, next we have council members' choice. Who wants to go first? Because I know, well, and poor Ernie didn't get to go, and Councilmember Camacho and Councilwoman Stang did not get to attend, but we did have a really good time. And I would agree, this was a really good, and I've been to lots of them. Yeah, this was a good one. It was a really good one. And we had a blast. Does anyone are you gonna tell the story? Go ahead.
Well,
You go. You start.
trouble. No, I did want to just say that CML was a great experience this year. I actually, one of my big takeaways was being more present in the community, trying to inform our constituents more about what we're doing in the community. So I met with Wendy and I actually wrote an article for the newsletter. And do you know when that's coming out? Okay, so
Cool.
we've already got a page that I wrote about the
Nice.
CML conference, from my perspective.
Nice.
Something kind of brief, but hopefully it entails kind of enough idea without going too in depth.
Right.
So
Cool.
yeah.
How about you, Chris,
was-
Councilman Clark?
Well, it's on. I took away a lot of things from the CML, and I was like, they say good artists borrow and great artists steal. I was listening to everything that we could bring back to Denver. I mean, back to Sheridan. And one of the things I was thinking as the council, if it's possible at one point for us to go through our city, like observe it, go through the whole city and look at it, every part of it, and look at the things that need to be handled. I've been going through my neighborhood, making more contact with the neighbors, the people in my area, and asking questions about what are their needs and different things that they might want to handle. But I'm looking forward to next year because I made a lot of new friends. But it was really nice for them to meet Sheridan and hear about what was going on with us, and we was able to express that quite a bit. And I was asked even to speak next year at the next CML. So that was, I mean, it was really something. The mayor, Jody, had asked me to do something next year. So it was really an experience for me being my first time. So this was the best one so far. Okay.
I know that we got to see him. I don't know if, Mr., did you get to see Chris?
I did
Councilman
not,
Clark?
I did
Oh,
not get to see you speak or any, I saw you throughout, but not in a session.
Yeah.
Oh my, no.
Quite a bit
Nice.
things there.
He was like skipping down the halls almost. He was so excited. He was bouncing down the hall. And I did not have any sessions with him, but Anthony, you did, right? Jay, did you?
Mhm.
And he was just like the cheerleader. Oh, so he will from now on be the cheerleader because he would get up and afterwards you know, he'd get a hold of that mic and boy, he'd take off and Sheridan is the greatest city and Sheridan, I mean, it was, I heard about it, but I didn't get to witness it, so.
It was fun to talk about us, and one of the things I want to say is that it was nice to be with you, Betsy, to get to know you. Just never felt that quality kind of time with you.
That's why we love
Also
this
with Devin,
meeting.
it was very, I feel very closer to everyone.
Or not a meeting, sorry, that was not a meeting. It's a council appreciation dinner. So we don't talk
And I
about
said
business.
meeting,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was
excuse me,
just- no,
yeah.
that's what I said.
I said
meet you
meeting.
as a
This was-
person.
Yeah, it was
And
lovely.
talk
I
and
loved
hear
it.
your story. It was very nice, and to spend time with Devin, I just feel closer with the team at this point. But I did miss Desiree and I did miss Ernie on this trip. I did
Yeah.
miss the two of you. And but we brought back the energy for you.
Oh, yeah, you got us. It was like skipping. It was crazy. Jay,
Yeah,
Councilman Whitaker.
so I really enjoyed the session on automated vehicle ID systems and red light and photo radar cameras. And my mind was blown by the regulation of data centers sessions and just the scope of the hyperscale data centers and the amount of energy that they use was really very awesome. Never underestimate the people next to you who can help you.
Right.
I took that out of what was it, Ryan Avery's keynote speech.
Mhm.
I have a couple pictures that I took from the car show, and I just wanted to say thanks to the Night Owls Hot Rods. It was just an amazing show. That particular link in there was beautiful.
Yeah,
How about the next one? Are there any more pictures?
that's the suicide doors.
And then I've always loved the Buick Riviera. That car, it was just so clean. And so many cars with really great paint. I loved it. And my dog Jones wanted to get in that picture because his ears are so cute. And then the last one's a Pacer that I found, and it was really neat to see one of these in such great shape. And you know, that car with its ultra wide body at the time was supposed to be the future of automobiles, and it really flopped, but it was so neat to see that. Really great job with that car show. And Brian, one of the old school guys with the hot rods that, you know, kind of works at Monahan's too. Yeah, he's a great guy. And I just had no idea he was so involved and deeply enmeshed in the car club. Really cool. The people in our community, you know, they do this over and over, years after years. Very cool.
It's once a year?
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, once a year. It's the first Saturday after the July 4th weekend. So it's usually right around the 11th or the 12th.
This show was this, how many have this?
This was the sixth one that we've done here in Sheridan. So I've known the Night Owls for quite some time. Raul Delator, who belonged that 71 Rivy that you took a picture of. That's one of his probably 13 cars he has.
Oh man, I'd love to acquire that car.
Yeah, that's my wife's favorite one
That's sweet.
too.
Oh.
But so when I got here, Raul asked me if we'd like to do a car show and then we could raise money for nonprofits. So we started it once I got here, and thanks to South Suburban, they deserve a lot of credit because they normally do not allow anyone to park their vehicles, of course, on the grass or have music or.
Chief, 300 cars, chief. Who directed the cars? Who did that?
The Night Owl Car Club, they advertise all year, so we'll have our next meeting next Wednesday, and they will start all over again.
That's a lot of.
And this year, your buddy that you went to school with,
Raul?
was it Raul?
Well, I didn't go to school with Raul Delator, but
Geraldo? What was his name?
I'm not.
I met him and he went to school with you, said you were a good kid and he wasn't necessarily. Or I think he was just talking you up, but he said that there were a lot less cars, which last year I would agree because they had them parked up on, you know, behind the school. Yes. No, it's on. No. No, I don't even know where the panic button is. Nope, I don't think so.
Yes.
It's, no, you know what it is? It's the dinosaurs.
We're switched one way, but I can't tell if it's on or off, so.
Try it the other way.
Did I hit it? Oh, well, there you go.
Thank you.
Can we do it again?
Last time I thought it.
Sorry. I didn't even know it was there. Thanks for telling me. That's cool. This is why we have so much fun, y'all.
So funny.
I know. I really was hoping that it was the Stegosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the Sheridan Celebrates website that y'all need to be getting on and voting for a certain dinosaur. Because that's our fundraiser. So yeah. Cool. Who's up next? Oh, Anthony, you haven't. Councilman Lopez, what'd you learn?
Well, yeah, CML was also very informative for me as well, and just a privilege to attend, but. I think if there was anything specific, I think it just kind of lights a fire under you for the year to come, and gives you a renewed sense of energy, and yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
That was really, I'm really glad we got to go.
I asked Devin about the, is it, Tennessee or something, not, where's the national?
Oh, yes, the national.
Nashville, that's what
Yep,
I'm thinking.
it's in Nashville, yep.
I
We
think
will.
it should be represented. Sheridan needs to be represented at
I
that.
think so too, that would be great.
And I'd be more than happy to, who it was.
Be the cheerleader.
Go with it.
Right? Look at cowboy hats. I have one, so. Anybody else?
Me. I actually get to speak.
Yes, you do.
I was at the car show with the chief. He introduced me to a lady named Margaret from Loretta Heights.
From Commune, yeah.
And she says she would like to give us a tour of the Heights all the way up to the top.
Oh my gosh.
So
you
I
gotta
asked
do it.
her to come to our next meeting, so she says she will try.
You gotta do
And
it.
I also got from the car show a plaque.
Oh.
The city of Sheridan. When they handed it to me, I said I was gonna keep it and not give it to the city.
Because it's actually really kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, so who do I give this to?
City Manager Granberry's been collecting them, so that's should be the 6th one, but I don't know what he's doing with them. So that's why I told you, if you wanna like,
I told him I was gonna keep it because I could see him up, so I could put it up.
It could be in his office, or maybe they should start putting them up.
I can take it and pass it along.
Yeah, I'll give it to you at the.
Thank you.
One for the PB.
Yeah, they got one.
Now we will proceed to the public comment portion of the agenda. We do have an individual. Oh dear. Each person or you shall be permitted to speak for a period of time not to exceed 2 minutes, and a person's time may not be shared with any other person. Public comment shall not exceed 20 minutes. Members of the public may provide comments on any topic not listed on the agenda. Comments are to be provided in person at the podium. And if you would step to the podium and please give us your name and address, we'd appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
That's Hannah.
Madam Mayor, they do have some brochures or flyers for you that they're going to hand out first.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, I'm Jan Philby. I live in Morrison, but I'll tell you about that. So that's who I am. Good evening, City Council. Delighted to be here. I'm here to talk about food security. I am a resident of Morrison, but I am an active founding volunteer with Sharing with Sheridan Food Pantry, which I imagine most of you are familiar with. We started 12 years ago by St. Philip's Lutheran Church, started here. We addressed food insecurity and became involved in the Sheridan community. That was part of it, not just to come and hand out but to be here and to be part of the Sheridan community. And we really feel like we've done that. We serve approximately 170 neighbors with a wide variety of food every week, every Thursday. If you haven't been by on a Thursday afternoon, come and see. Just drop in anytime you want to. If you want a more involved tour, come talk to me. We really appreciate the support of the Sheridan City and the Sheridan community publicity with Wendy. And during COVID, it was huge, having all of this. And Chief, he's there when we need him. Fortunately, we have not needed him very often. So as part of the Sheridan community, Sharing with Sheridan is an early member of Arapahoe Food Security Coalition. It's an organization composed of about 175 members from 60 organizations. Brings together food providers, community organizations, advocates to create a more connected, equitable, and sustainable food system. I personally have participated in the strategic planning for this group and the task force to find a food hub. A food hub would allow a space for multiple groups to store dry, refrigerated, and freezer space. Also a central place for donations. During the SNAP government shutdown last year, we kept getting donations and it was like, what do we do with them? So with the help of Sheridan employees Ari Snow and Nathan Rasmussen, we are laying groundwork for a consultant and hope to be getting that started. We could always use additional help if any of you are interested, have a passion for food. Let Leslie know. I'll direct her. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions?
You got flyers.
Yes, thank you very much. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.